Chris Watkin back again with John Durrant, thought leader of estate agency, been in estate agency for over 50 years. You're looking good. You must have started young, John. Give me the 6 things why estate agency in the 21st century is better than the 20th century. Talk to me.
Okay, well, the first I would list would be training, because training really wasn't a feature at the time. I think we did have one training video which comprised, who's that comedian? Fawlty Towers guy.
John Cleese.
John Cleese, that's right. I think he did a video where somebody was dressed up as a monkey and you were told that you had to ape the behaviour of the person that you were talking to, which I understand. It was quite funny, but that was about it. So we didn't have training. These days you've got people like Richard Rawlings, Mike Day, Stephen Brown. Sadly, Julian's on a break. But yeah, we've got great trainers out there. And the thing
not many trainers for 15,000 estate agents.
No, there should be more, and probably there are more. And other brands should be considered as well. But these are people that spring to mind because they've been people that I've listened to. I've been to Richard Rawlings' events.
I mean, they're all good. Richard, Mike, Stephen Brown, and hopefully, Julian will be getting back on the horse soon. Yeah. We'll see him out and about. Yeah. Unfortunately, lost his wife recently, which is a shame. Yeah. So that's trainers. What's number 2?
Well, tech and outsourcing. So you've got fantastic. We're talking another time about time and what estate agents have to do. They've got a lot of work to do, and they're only 24 hours in a day, and in fact they're only 8 hours officially that you should be working. Although I found myself working until 3 a.m. in the morning very often, which was so I'd be firefighting during the day, and I do my property marketing in the evening. So these days,
what sort of outsourcing has caught your eye?
Well, Viewer. That seems like a no-brainer because unless you want to do viewings on a Sunday, that's probably not such a great.
I mean, it seems so simple, doesn't it? I wish we'd all started it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, there's a lot of organisation and a lot of things that can go wrong with it as well, which is and you've got to have people that are really reliable.
Indeed. Now I know this is not a promo. I know we're going to bring this up, but you have your own outsourcing. You tart up photographs, don't you?
Tart up. It's not the phrase I would use. Yeah, that's right. We tart up photographs. So I left estate agency. Blame me, I can't remember when I did, but it was a few years ago, and I started taking photographs for Knight Frank and for Savills and people like that. I reached the point where I wanted to kill people, frankly, and in estate agency. 37 years is enough.
Yep.
It's probably why you're sitting here as well. Is you found another route, but I reached that point, and I noticed that estate agents were sending me photos to add blue skies to, and sometimes to take out the odd skip or car. And I thought, well, there might be a business here. And so I found myself sitting next to some guy at a networking event. And I said, can you do this? Build this app for me? And he said, yes. And the rest is history. And now we're Dr. DCTR, like Dr. Photo. And my son Tom is running it. So I've officially retired. I'm still on the ship, but not in the wheelhouse. He's running the show. And he's
been on that sofa.
He's been on this sofa. That's right. And he's developed that into new areas, new homes marketing and that kind of thing. So he's doing CGIs, animated CGIs, 360 VRs, all that kind of stuff, which has
certainly come a long way from Photoshop. Then.
It's come a long way. Yeah, there's me sitting at the kitchen table editing estate agents' photos. So
And any other, again, we don't want to turn this into a promo for your business. Any other great outsourcing or tech that
Ravensworth.
You like?
Ravensworth, great if you want to get your properties, glossy brochures.
They do look good, don't they?
They do look good, and I think that's a strong thing to do. You're not seeing so many properties printed these days. A lot of them are going out online.
Doesn't matter as long as they look the part.
Yeah, that's right. But you need something to show to your vendors to help you to win the instruction. I think having something
I've
like
always
that.
thought brochures are there for the vendor, not for the buyer.
That's right. CRM.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, CRM systems. You've got multiple mail outs being handled online, which we didn't have back then. The advantage of CRM systems is that that you can do bulk. You can look after the bulk stuff. You can also you've also got the record keeping, which previously would have had a cardboard.
It was on a card on hot
ring,
boxes.
yeah, a ring binder or something like that.
If you're in your 20s and 30s, have a word with your older colleagues and ask them what a hot box is.
Yeah,
It'll blow your mind.
And think how lucky you are that you don't have to write everything onto pieces of card.
I miss them. I think a good estate agency from
hot boxes are brilliant, but the property record keeping, the recording all the viewings by hand, all the follow-ups by hand, etc. That kind of took a lot of
But if you think
time.
about it, CRMs are not there to sell the properties, are they? They're there to look after the records.
The CRMs, they're record keeping and they're great at bulk mailing and that kind of stuff. But if you really want to, engage with people, then there's nothing quite like a hot box to do that. And I would suggest that actually, in fact, in my latter years as an estate agent, I kept a hot box because that was the only way that I could really work.
Number 4?
Photocopiers.
Oh, that's interesting.
Photocopiers. Well, going back to the Dark Ages, we would have a metal drum that would spin around. You'd have something called a pigskin. You'd have your details typed out, and with the photograph, the Polaroid photograph on the side of it, and this metal drum would spin around and it would go like that, and it would cut little holes in the pigskin, and then you'd put that onto an ink drum and wind the thing out. Then we had litho printing, so we only had one litho machine between several offices, and I'd have to drive over to Basingstoke from Fleet and make up plates and print. I remember it was quite a learning experience. It was interesting to see how the process worked, frankly, but I'm bloody glad I don't have to do it now, or didn't have to do it. And then you'd have plain paper copiers. That was a revelation, because now you could just put them onto the machine and they'll print out, and then colour copiers. Wow. Fantastic. Wow. That was absolutely amazing. So, I would say that the property marketing process was, we had mini prints. I forgot that. Mini prints. So you'd print the details out, then you have colour photographs, and then
stick them on, put them onto your arm.
Yeah, we had in the Guildford office at the end of the, I can't remember, we'd had in the Guildford office a team of people called stickers and stuffers, and these were little old ladies, and there'd be a big table, and they would be having cups of tea, and they'd be chatting, and they'd be sticking these photographs on. And I said to the manager of the office before I actually sold my business to the Pru in 1987, I said to the manager, "How much do you spend on photos?" And he said about 2,000. I said, "What, a year?" And he said, "No, a month." So at the time, he was spending £2,000 a month on these mini prints, and then you'd have teams of ladies.
And people complain that they're having to spend £2,000 then was a lot more than what £2,000
Yeah,
is.
absolutely. It was a lot of money. And at the time, we were spending, in the Surrey Advertiser, $1,200 a week for local newspaper advertising as well for a page.
What year was that?
1986, 87.
Okay, that is nearly 40 years ago. So we've had a lot of inflation since then.
Yeah, that's
so that would be 2,000. That'd be nearly £3,000 a week in today's money.
No, I feel for the right move, customers. I feel for them, but actually it's a lot better than it was. Actually, the National Association could have done a lot better as well, because at the time I was part of a working group. We used to drive up to Warwick, and we had it all planned out. We knew what to do to build our own portal, and that was the idea. Unfortunately, the hierarchy didn't see it that way.
Well.
There was this pre-right move.
There you go. Okay, what's number 5?
Well, the ability to market properties in a much better way. This day and age, you've got HD screens all around the world, and you've got your colour photographs. If they're well taken, they look amazing. You can see in Australia what's for sale here. In fact, I often look at Australia to see what's for sale there, just out of interest.
And the photography certainly has improved over the years, both the quality and the quantity. You're taking more photographs.
Yeah.
And do you think digital cameras have aided estate agents?
Oh, in comparison, definitely. Digital cameras have really changed everything because, as I say, going back to the dark ages, it would take you wouldn't go to the local chemist to process your films. You'd have to send them away somewhere, and then they would come back. But in this day and age, you can be on the market literally within an hour of putting a property on the market. And in fact, we've just developed an artificial intelligence system, so you can take a relatively poor photo. It's better if you can take a good photo, but if you can take a relatively poor photo and stick it through our AI, and you can have 50 photos done, processed in 3 minutes.
Wow. What's the sixth reason?
Well, you've got the portals, haven't you? A way of reaching...
That's not going to go down well with the punters.
Well, I'm not mentioning any particular portal, but there is one prominent.
Well, I'll say it. Rightmove.
Oh, Rightmove. Okay. Well, you got Rightmove. They were a forerunner, but there are other portals as well, and I think that the advantage there is that there was a study done in the USA back in 2014 that showed that the quality of photos can influence somebody's idea of the value of a property, perception of value, by up to 12%. So look at the portals as a beauty parade. If you've got your properties looking much better than those that are above or below yours, then you're going to get more viewings on those properties. And equally, you're also going to win instructions on the better properties as well, because if you've got somebody with a £60,000 kitchen, you really don't want them being photographed by somebody who's going to make it look like the lower deck of Noah's Ark after a nasty storm, which is what a lot of estate agents can achieve, because they don't know what they're doing with the camera. They don't know the settings, none of which is rocket science. It's just about technique.
Thank you for your time today. There you go, boys and girls. 6 reasons why estate agency in the 2020s is better than it was in the 20th century. Thank you for your time today, John.
It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you.